when I open up my, if I open a new live set, I'll save this. It shows up just like this. So I already have like kind of everything here. I have my drums bus already ready to go, and I like to color them blue. I'm gonna go back through all this, so I'll just show you quickly, kind of overall what I like to do, and then I'll have an instrument bus, so I can just quickly drop stuff in here. I can hit record here MIDI, and I can drop devices in there for my VST. I can drop in like I can drop this piano in and use this one, this piano blue. And then I'll have, what I call an instrument sidechain bus, which is already at the top of this, which we'll go through these. These are called groups in Ableton. This group already has, at the top, I have a sidechain compressor kind of set up right here at the bottom, if you can see here. And I have it to the sidechain kick. So any instrument I drop in here will be affected by the kick drum, which is right here. I have a sidechain kick. Again, I'll go back through this. I'll go quickly, and then I have a bass, which is pretty self-explanatory. Is where I'll put my basses, and then I have a sub for like 808s or real low sub frequencies, and then I have an effects, which I should probably change. Actually, I'm going to do it right now because these are more transitions. I call these transitions, as far as like noises, like risers and stuff like this, for effects. And then I have my tag, which everybody knows goes like this.
Solo playing them chords.
As Spurny knows, I put that if I do a track for people and I send it to somebody, I like to tag it, so it's like it's just printed into the track, at least so they know it's mine if somehow it was mispronounced, or like I didn't have it like properly tagged as far as how I made the track or who made the track. And then I have a lead vocal group here, which has all kind of like have a little chain set up for when I'm recording vocals. It just kind of helps with everything. Like when I'm recording someone, I can quickly go to my auto tuner here, put in the proper key and do a little adjustment. So when we hit playback and it's kind of already running through all this fun stuff that I've created, that it sounds really good to their ears, and it gets them excited because it already sounds like it's almost done, like it's almost mixed, and it kind of just helps workflow and it just keeps everything positive. But that's just kind of how I start it, and then it runs through the master. But let me show you from the very beginning how I do this. Well, that's not it. All right, so far, is there any questions, or are we good? That was like a real quick.
Yeah, one little question, sorry. Would you be able to share this template with us?
Yeah, of course. I'll do it right now. I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Can I also ask real quick? Does anyone here also does not understand anything what's going on right now? Yeah. Sorry, guys.
No, that's why I assume that. That's why I'm gonna go real slow. That was just like a quick overview of how I do it. Let me see here. How do I save this? Okay, you know what I can do is I'll make this one and then I'll share the template. But this is more just like, I guess setting up your DAW is like, it's like you don't even really have to do it this way. You can start like recording. Let's say you want to like record a song, right? And oh, sorry. Let's say you just want to like start recording something, and you're like, maybe you have like a So that's like, a simple little line there, a little um this little bar up here is really cool. It's a useful tool. It's called the loop bar. If you grab it and you put it around, like let's say you start from bar 9 to 16, and you click on where is it? This little thing up here, this little roundy thing. It's just kind of showing that it'll loop it forever. So, like while that's going, I can just keep looping it and keep adding parts to this, right? So the way I would do that is like if you go Apple T, it creates a new audio track, and I choose my input, which is synths. So I can add like maybe another part on top of this. So I mean, I didn't even set up anything, right? I'm just adding. I can add another part here. I can drag in another sound. Maybe I'll drag in a bass sound, like a low. Let's do this. So you can drop it down here, and now I'm gonna be in this. All right, so I mean, this is like a simpler way to just start making music as far as like um not worrying about having that big template that I had earlier. But I wanted to show in this session, in this workshop, how you can, instead of like me kind of like going and grabbing things and trying to build it without having anything, I like to actually already have kind of like something kind of built in. I like to start from a template. Um, so actually, let me actually do that. I'll open that one back up. Let me save. Wait, let me go back. Save that. Okay, so again, we go back to this. Everything's already set up, right? So this drums would be where I would drop all my drums into. Um, so let me see here. Do you guys so is anybody here? How familiar are people here with Ableton at all? Like, let me see. Maya's looking a little confused. She's saying no. Okay, let me see here. Okay, I think it'd be best then if I do just start from the top, like show you how I build it up. Okay, so generally, let's just start with this. We'll use this as an example, okay? Well, this part right here is a piano part, right? So let's just name this piano. So if I do Apple R, and you can change it to piano, or if you right click it, you can go down here to rename. But let's name that piano. And then this sound right here, right? This was my synth sound. So we'll just name this Apple R synth, okay? Now, so those two things to me sound, I would just consider them instruments, even though like, a bass is an instrument and drums are technically an instrument. But I like to consider instruments like mid-range sounds, like pianos, guitars, synths, violins or strings or whatever. So if you click on this piano and this synth part right here, you hold shift, piano, and then hold shift and synth. It kind of highlights them both. And you go Apple G, it'll create what we call a group. And other DAWs like Pro Tools, and I'm not actually sure what they call them in Logic, but they might call them auxes or buses. It's the same thing as an aux or a bus. So if I just solo this now, you're only going to hear that. You're not going to hear the bass line down here. If I open it back up, this little, let's name this one. This contact is called bass. So now these are in a group. And then what I like to do is highlight the group. Let's call these instruments. And I'll just shorten it to inst. And then I right click it and I like to say, I make my instruments usually this color, this blue, and then I right click it and I say assign track color to grouped tracks and clips at the very bottom. So now they're all the same color. So I like all my stuff to be the same colors. I know a lot of people like different stuff, but I have a very specific color code that I use for all my sub instruments, sub auxes like drums and bass. Bass is always brown because it starts with B. I don't know. And drums are always dark blue, and I don't know why I chose that, but it's been like that for years. And vocals are always red. So we'll go through that. So anyway, on these groups, any other questions right now? Sorry, I'm going kind of fast, I guess. Okay, some people I see in the chat here. Open for the first time 10 minutes ago. Okay, so yeah, there's definitely some beginners. Beginner. Okay. Okay, this is good. I didn't even know the chat was going here. All right, cool. So this is a good way to kind of like start off. And I believe this is all going to be recorded too, so you can always go back and watch this again. And if you need to stop and slow it down, you can see what I do. Get rid of that. So far we got instruments, right? Which is cool. But let's do this now. So this is, even though I only have one bass, I still like to group everything. So Apple G again, and I'm going to name this group bass. And like I said, I like brown. And then I assign it to the color. So that's going to be brown now. Okay, so that sounds cool. If you close these up like that, and then it collapses all of them too, which is kind of tidy, especially if you have like 37 instrument tracks and 280 drum tracks. You can collapse it all, and then it's like nice and tidy like this. So now let's like, this is, you know what? I don't even like this. I'm gonna try something new. Let's try a new one. Okay, I'm gonna do this though. All right, cool. Let me do it down here. Okay, just a little simpler, just 2 chords as opposed to 3. So let me add another. So now I got a little synth line kind of going over the top of that. Over here on the audio effects, which is really cool, you can click on there's all sorts of fun stuff over here that comes with Ableton. Depending on what version you have, I don't think you have everything, but like, let me throw, I'm pretty sure everybody has this filter delay. Throw it on the synth here, do something kind of fun with it. Let me take out the middle. That's kind of like, that's fun. It's pretty subtle. Let's see if it's doing anything. Yeah, it's adding a little something in there. Kind of like spreading it out a little bit, making it a little bit more stereo-wise. So then let's add another track. So you can actually, like, inside of this instrument track, I can add, I can go Apple T again, and it's like right inside there, but I'm gonna do a MIDI track. So if you hold Command Shift and T, or what, Apple Shift and T, it's a MIDI track now. Or you can go up to Create, Insert MIDI track as well. And let's go over here to Instruments. So inside of this categories over here, every Ableton, all Ableton has these. So you can, let's go to, I don't know, maybe guitar. Let's see what this one sounds like. I don't even know. That's kind of cool. All right. Okay, cool. So then another really cool thing with Ableton is if you click on this, you double click it, now it shows up down here at the bottom. This is how you actually affect it. You can't do it, unfortunately, it's like not connected up here. When you double click here, it shows it up below. And this is how you actually manipulate the files, or manipulate the MIDI. So I can grab this node, I can move it around if I want. I don't like this note. I'm going to pull that down. Okay. Okay, I think there was a filter. There we go. This little down bottom left, it says filter frequency. Take out some of that top end. Ooh, I like that. That's cool. I'm going to quantize it. If you go Apple A and Shift, if you hit Apple A inside of this box down here, and hit U, Apple U, it'll quantize it. Again, you can also right click it, quantize settings right here. You can adjust in here and how strong you make the quantize. So you can be like 90%, actually. It would be maybe like 90, let's do like 95%, so it's not totally right on. Again, so this is all just in this one instrument group. And what's cool about this is now on this group, I can actually affect the whole thing. I can put something on this, and it'll affect everything inside of that. So like, let's say I run it through like a Fairchild or something, like a compressor that just kind of maybe warm the entire instrument. So now everything, all these three instruments are running through this plugin right here, which is like a little compressor, which warms it up a little maybe. I'm gonna name this Pluck. Now, another thing I like to do is I don't like to run everything in MIDI. I like I like things to be freezed and flattened is what they call it. I like audio files. I don't like MIDI. So what I always do is if I'm pretty satisfied with the part, which is, I don't, I mean, even if I'm not, I'll just still like, if I'm close, I right click it and it's called freeze it. And then you got to right click it again and then you flatten it and it makes it a WAV file now as opposed to MIDI. It also like uses less like DSP. It makes your computer run a little less intense. Just a little smoother. Okay, so we got like 3 parts here. That's kind of cool. So let's start. Let me add some drums now. In your Ableton session, everybody has what they call, well, they have drums right here. So, but what you really should be doing is go to these packs. These are all free. And you have to click on like ableton.com and it takes you to like the website and you can download free packs from them. And the one that everybody should get is just straight up beat tools. This one's like, you can pretty much make anything with this. You don't need a lot of stuff. And they have pretty decent drums in here. Actually, there we go, samples, one shots. Okay. So you go down here. So you go under Beat Tools, which is under Places over here on the bottom left. It says Packs. You go to Beat Tools and then go down here to Samples. And then under here, there'll be a thing called One Shots. And then here they are, drums, bass, guitar, orchestral synth. You can see they got vocal stuff. We'll go over that. That's kind of cool. So drums, let's start with the kick drum, or yeah, maybe more a snare. I like to start there. Okay, that's kind of cool. It's like an 808. So let's do this. Right click, I'm going to do audio track because I'm going to just drop the sample in, and I'm going to call this one snare. I like to I drop all my samples in. I don't use any like drum machines or anything. I just drop them right into the DAW. So it's like, let's do it like this. Another thing I just did there, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, when you get samples from any like sample pack or anything, I'm going to blow this up. They give it to you like this loud. They give it to you as loud as possible because they want whoever made the sample pack or whatever, they want you to be excited about their samples. So they make it super loud. Well, that's cool, but you can't ever use them in reality because if everything was that loud, then you'd have no room to make any music with. So the first thing I do with every sample is I highlight it and I clip gain it way down over here on the left. So however way it's down here, it says gain. I call it clip gain. That's how they call it in Pro Tools. But I just take it all the way down till it's about halfway. Does that make any sense? It's like you can see the WAV file, how big it is. Look, that like fills up the whole box. You want it to be like right there, somewhere in the middle. That's what I would just say. Halfway up seems to be like a sweet spot to start. And then I'll just, if you click on it, and then again, I want to make sure that it's exactly like the length of the snare, the sample is what I want. So I got it here for like, it's like, looks like 1 beat. If you click on it and you hold it, or you click and you hit Option and you grab it, it kind of pulls it with it. So now you have a copy of that. So I'll put it there. So then I'm going to go like here, highlight those two, and then you go Apple D. So now you're just basically duplicating it. Let me do it like this. Okay. Okay, cool. So I usually start with snare because it's the most easiest kind of, like it's the most consistent sound you're going to have in any track. because it's going to be the one. It's just like, and it usually is on 2 and 4. It's rarely on anywhere else. But you know what would be kind of cool actually? Okay, see what I just did is I clicked on the actual track and I went Apple D. So I did a copy of this track, of the whole thing. But what I'm going to do is on this other one, I'm going to call this snare 1 and call this one snare 2. I'm going to find another kind of like a fun little thing, a different type of sound, maybe, and add it somewhere else like this. Not there. Maybe right here. How about like this? Okay, and then you know what would be cool is if I you go to audio effects and let's put this filter delay on that too. Let's change the okay, that's kind of cool. So that's a little like I want to put on this one up here. I'm going to do this. I want to make this a little bit more spacey, kind of push in the back, put some reverb, and just pull it way back there. Okay, cool. So maybe now's the time we'll add a kick drum. Okay, so here's a good point. Now I'm gonna highlight these 2 snares. I'm gonna have Apple G, like you can make it really stereo. You can widen out just the reverb, or you can make it real narrow and have the reverb right in the middle, or maybe I'll spread it out a little. Do you guys hear that? How now it sounds like the reverb is really wide. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so now. Okay, so now let's do something like this. Let's get a hi-hat going now because we need a little top end. Back here, back to my packs under Beat Tools. Let's go to hi-hat. Okay, again, this is just the way I do it. You don't have to do it this way. Some people use, actually, let's do that. Some people use this thing called Simpler. That's over here under Instruments. So under Instruments, there's right here, it's called Simpler. It's a MIDI, I mean, basically it's a sampler. So whatever you drop sample in here, you can control with MIDI. So let me go over here to the packs and let's grab that and I'll drop that right in here. So now I can play it on my keyboard, and you see here that it's getting higher. So the MIDI affects the tone, which is kind of cool. So I can like play the hi-hat in, right, as opposed to just dropping it. Notice I had the click track was off. Up here in this left-hand corner, this is how you turn the click on and off. I kind of left it off because sometimes it's like with hats, you don't want it to be too stiff. You don't want it to sound like fake, even though it's like these are all technically samples. And then like after it's done, I can go in here and now here's all the MIDI information right here. If I hit this fold button right here, which is really handy, it folds up every MIDI information you did. So like if you don't have that, it'll show this whole piano roll, everything in here. But if you hit fold, it'll just give you the information that you did. So you can kind of see it. And I can just go in here and like move things around. If I feel like it's too early, maybe I can grab that. if you click it and you hold Command, you can slide it around wherever you want, which is kind of handy. Otherwise, it'll just click into it'll snap to the grid. So I like to hold Command, and then you can move it around a little, maybe right there. A little early on that. And this is how I just kind of like create like a more natural feel. And the volumes are a little different. See how down here is the volumes of the hi-hats. You don't want them all to be, if they were all like this, imagine if they all sounded like this. See how stiff that sounds? But now that they're all little different volumes, it's like a real person playing it, right? So it's real subtle stuff, but this is what it kind of like, this is how you have to get, this is how you use these DAWs, is you kind of like have to trick them into thinking that it's real. You don't want the listener to feel uncomfortable when they're listening to music. So I always find it's better to just have everything sound really natural. And being natural is having a little bit of the mistake as well. Like, it's not supposed to be perfect. That's a little unperfect. Hold up. A little too much. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is cool. Now, there was a thing I was talking about earlier. Oh, wait. I got that in the wrong group. Hold up. Pull this into the drum. Sorry. This is gonna be hat 1. So okay. Now here's a really awesome trick that I like to use, and this is how we'll get into compression. For this kick, I want everything to kind of sidechain off of that. Like, I want the whole track to pump off of this kick drum. So what I do is I highlight this kick, I hit Apple D. Let's rename this kick SC for sidechain. And then you go over here to outputs, and you go all the way down here and you make it sends only. So now there's no sound coming out of here, but the information from the kick is going to trigger whatever I say is this sidechain. So one trick I like to do is, like, I already have this set up here. I have a bunch of templates that I've already made that I like as I set up this sidechain compressor. So down here it says you turn on the sidechain and you go audio from, and I'm going to have it come from the kick. Then you can adjust here. So now that the hat is going to kind of work off of the kick. So whenever the kick and the hat hit together, they're going to interact to each other, which, you know, it might be a really subtle sound, but that, to me, that's kind of gives the whole more movement. And you can even do it like, let me do it to this. I'll do it to the Rhodes. So you can really make it dramatic. Listen to this. Kind of like that lo-fi sound. But I want to make it a little less than that. I don't want to be too obvious. Okay, so that's feeling good. Let's add another. Let's do this. Let me duplicate that. I'm going to call this, again, I'm going to freeze that. That's done with me. I like that pattern. Let's add another hat. I feel like we need to have like we need to get like a open hat now. Put one like on the beat too, like this. So it's like boom. Wait. There we go. Not right there though. So it's like every other one. There we go. Okay, cool. So this is feeling good. Okay. There was something I heard that I really liked. What was it? That low sub. Alright, cool. Let's make a sub. Okay, so that's out of tune. I don't know if you can hear. This little pitch knob right here, see? I can adjust the pitch. So a good way to do this too, like with especially low subs, is you actually just go really, take it up an octave from where it starts. And then you can hear that it's not in the right key. So it needs to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 half steps. Actually, I don't know if I like that. Hold up. Let me find it. Whoa, that's kind of cool. Sorry, that's kind of annoying, I know. Okay, so just down a half step. Or up 1. Okay, check this out. Now, I think what I'll do is actually add. That source, that sub source, I'm not really feeling at the moment. Uh-oh, this isn't good. No, we're good. Oh, okay, weird. No wonder. I was playing. Bless you. Okay. So what I just did there is I recorded this in, and then I highlight it. Let me show you how it ended. See how it ended like this? Because I stopped recording, so these clips are now like no longer connected. So what you can do is you can highlight them both like that, and then hit Apple J. So now it'll be one continuous MIDI file. I don't like this sound. Let me get a different sub. I really like this one. Yeah, it's a little more smooth. Oh, that's diesel. A little too. Let me recut that now. See, now that's... There we go. Highlight those two. Now see, now that I have these like this low sub and this kick hitting it together at the same time, it's kind of like they're getting in the way of each other because they're both low frequencies. One kind of takes over the other. So you kind of hear it farting out when they're hitting at the same time. There's a lot of different ways we can go about this, but right now I think an easy way to show you is just using the built-in sidechain, the compressor that comes with it. Again, I sidechain the bass to the kick, so now every time the kick hits, it's gonna duck it. Hear that? And then you can adjust your attack and release right here. I want it to be really fast, but it's really slow. Hear that? It's a slow one. So let's do like maybe right here in the bottom. It shows you how many dB it's taking out. It's taking about 6. I would like to take out a little more than that, maybe like 10. So now when I hit play, they're not in the way of each other. Listen. Yeah, now they're kind of like working together, which is really cool how that works. I mean, I can show you something else. If you guys are getting really crazy, you can get this soothe one. Adjust it here, sidechain. So now it's only going to take out that frequency. It only takes out the frequencies that they share. Here you can see it. Yeah, so it just smooths it out a little bit, and now you got a solid low end without it farting out and like taking up all your DSP or taking out all your headroom at the top. The whole point of this game of like making music and presenting it to the world is making it as loud as possible, but like feel good, because everybody does that. Like, you're going to be competing with everybody in the world making music, and the best music that we all hear is super loud and dynamic at the same time. So if you're not in that world, then you're not going to even, people will hear it and they'll be like, oh, that's cool, but it doesn't sound as good as somebody else's music, and you don't know why. And it's because everybody's carving. They're getting rid of the low end as much as possible to make it as loud as possible, but feel dynamic. So this is what I'm talking about. Sidechaining low end, taking out frequencies that are masking each other at the very bottom. That's how you can get loud. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Okay. So now I want to put a little, like, again, so we have a bass group here. We don't have a bass there, but I'm going to probably do another bass line as well. Let's put on this bass group. Let's do audio effects. Let's go like here and do, let's put this saturator on here, which is kind of cool. This thing just kind of like, it's, gives you a little drive. Kind of, it adds upper harmonics. I don't know exactly what harmonics this one adds, if it's either the odd harmonics or the even. They're all a little different. I have all sorts of different saturators, but this one's pretty good actually. Let's go soft sine here. And again, this dry wet knob thing, you can kind of like adjust it, decide how much you want to saturate. And what that kind of does is help it cut through the mix a little bit. going to turn it down. So over here, this little blue, all these little light blue guys are your volume. Cool. Okay. So yeah, so let's see here. Just to recap real quickly. Oh, I don't know why that's not in there. This hat needs to go in there. Okay, so just to recap for groups wise. So far we have drums, bass, and instruments. And these are my groups. And if you just hit play, I can collapse just the drums down so you can see they're all nice and tidy in here. Just the drums. Or we can go just the instruments, nice and tidy. And then the bass. Now let's grab everything and duplicate it over so we can make it a longer loop. And maybe on this second half of this, let's add another little piece over here to the instruments. Like I love piano because that's what I play, so I'm gonna add. Let's see what this is. I already kind of created these a while ago. Ableton's really cool with that. You can make your own sounds and you can save them. Okay, that's kind of cool. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to leave that. Just freeze it right now. And I'll just call that. That's another thing. You should really think about, like, never like overthink your process when you're creating. Like, do that later. Like, maybe go back later and like think about it. But in the moment, just go with it. Like, don't try to like criticize anything you do. Unless it's really bothering you, but that didn't really bother me, you know, so I'm just gonna go with it. And now, that's kind of cool, and then I'll bring the loop back around. So that's just the second half of that. So it just makes the loop a little more interesting. Now, let's do this. Let's add another bass line, but now like more maybe of a real bass, like P bass sound, like. Oh yeah, maybe just like something simple like this. Maybe just like, yeah, just something like that, right? Maybe right there too. And then maybe that one's a little different. Cool. Now double that up. That little second half is nice when the piano comes in. It kind of. And call this bass 2. Okay, I'm going gonna freeze that because again, I'm just moving on. If like, you know, I know a lot of people, some of you probably wondering why I'm doing that, because I know some people just leave it as MIDI, and then if they want to change it later, you know, then you can go back and they don't want to like commit to anything, which is, you know, totally fine. I just don't, for me, my process is if I like it, I just move on. And then later, if I decide I don't, then I'll just change it. But maybe I'll use a different bass line, or maybe I'll manipulate the audio inside of here. Like if I don't like this note right here, boo, I can just move it down here, a pitch 2 up. You can do anything you want. You don't have to ever like you don't ever have to worry about like what's right or wrong. In fact, I think it's better to just commit to something, and then if you want to change it later, maybe use a different sound. To me, it makes the tracks more interesting if you use different sounds throughout the track. Okay. Okay, cool. Now let me do this now. Let me double that again. Okay, so then let's say this part. Let's go in here and let's mute these synths right here. So this is if you hit 0 on the clip, it mutes it. I don't like to erase it. So we'll act like this right here, this section. Let me go up here. If you right click in this little section, you can add a locator. We're going to call that verse 1, right? And then let's do this. Let's grab this section over here, and we'll call the very beginning the intro. So far, this is what our song sounds like. It might be cool to be like... So now the song comes in verse 1. So here's like verse 2 maybe. So then maybe that little section. Well, let's wait for the piano part to come in. Okay, let's call this the chorus now. 2, 1, 2, 3, and let's do a little mute here. So if you grab, the cool thing about the groups too is like if I want to do a drum mute here, I can highlight inside the group. I can go highlight and hit 0, and it mutes everything inside of it. So the whole drum's cut out right there. 1, 2, 3. So now we're in the chorus, right? You know, it'd be cool too, just to like make sure that we know that that's the chorus, is I'll go into the packs here and I'll add like a symbol, like a light crash here. And this is actually might be a good point now to show you where I could do a transition. So this might be a good spot. Going into that, let's just take this thing, this crash, you highlight it and you go down here, this little left-right button reverses the sample. And put it right before it, so it's like a little riser. That's kind of cool. Maybe a little too much though. Like let's do like this. So now this is our chorus, right? This little bass line comes in. Also now that we're in the chorus, I feel like it needs to be a little more exciting. So let's go over here to pads. I got some fun stuff that I've created. Maybe, what is this? Mellow Vibes. I don't even know what this is. It's kind of like that other sound. Whoa, that was a short. Maybe let's make it, actually let's do like an arpeggio. Something kind of more repetitive. We got a lot of sustainy stuff. Let's try this guy. Let's try the Juno 60. I got a fun... actually, you know what? I don't. That one you can't adjust. For some reason on that you can't adjust the actual arpeggiator. On the Omnisphere you can do a lot of stuff. Here, hold on. Let me bring this up. Okay. I have, so the way I don't know if you, there's so much to learn, but the way I'm recording is I already have these keys set up to where if I'm hitting play and then I just hit my number 3, it's recording, and I set that up over here. If you click on this MIDI thing, and then you click like anywhere on here, and is that it? Yes, you click MIDI, and then if I click on here and I hit, key, that's what it is. You hit key and then you can assign any one of these on your keyboard. So if you click on the record, I've already got it to 3. So anytime, that's just how my workflow is. I can just be quickly coming up with ideas. I can just hit 3 and it's recording. It's armed immediately. Okay, that's kind of cool. Take that way down. Again, I'm going to just freeze and flatten that real quick and call this ARP. Okay, cool. Still feel like the chorus doesn't have enough for me. Let me add one more piece. Maybe, so I'll use my Nord here. It has some really cool sounds. Let me get a sample. Maybe like maybe a Mellotron. Over here you can pan left and right. It's pretty self-explanatory. But another way to do that, as opposed to just grabbing it and panning it, is you can use a delay in here. It's a little more trickier process, but I'll show you. You grab a delay and you put it on, let's see, I'll put it on the flute. So let me turn these off. You don't link them. Take the feedback all the way down. So it's like a weird effect. If you kind of delay one side of it a little bit, it kind of makes your brain think that it's panned. Do you hear that? Sounds to the right now. If I turn it off, it's right in the middle. The only thing is when you do that, and this is maybe another time to talk, it kind of throws it out of phase. So you have to be careful with that. In fact, I can hear that's out of phase. Okay, that's better. That's completely out of phase. So yeah, you got to be careful with it. It's really subtle, but that moved it to the right a little. Kind of helps create space in your track without just, hard panning and stuff. And I want to push that to the back too, so I'm going to use this one plugin I like called True Verb that Waves makes. And it's got this thing called Reflections that I've created a preset for. So what this does is, this plugin's cool. It kind of pushes things to the back. This is your source. This guy, the red right here, is like where you're standing, and this yellow is like where the sound is. So you can imagine the further I push it back, the further it goes into the distance, like into the background. And this is how big the room is. So you can make it a really big room. You can push it way back there or bring it closer to you. It's really interesting way to create space in tracks. There, see, now it's kind of in the back. All right, cool. Now, so then let's do this. Let me grab all of it, and then we'll create a transition here. I'll call this interlude. Okay. And then we'll go here. And we'll call this V3. So now we're in the second half of the song. But we're going to make the second half not as long. So we're going to make it, where is that, right there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, right there. So let's grab this amount, and if you hold, I'm going to highlight all of it. If you hold Apple Shift and Delete, it shuffles the whole track back. Add locator. This is going to be chorus 2. Okay, so let's hear it from the top real quick, so I can show you what I got so far. As you see with my template, it kind of just helps me kind of create quickly. This is the thing. I'm going to send you guys the template that I use, that I already have, that you can just open it up and start writing and putting your samples in it right away. You can drop anything you want right into it. Okay, first verse, 2, 3. Do a drum break right here. Wait, it's like here. Mute this. Chorus 2, 3. Okay, we're going into this little interlude. 2, 3, and a little breakdown. Maybe right there would be a good spot to do like a little like a riser. Again, so I'm going to call this one, I'm going to group these and I'm going to call these transitions. And actually while I'm there, because I had that little reverse.
What?
Sorry, what was that? Let's grab this guy and put him in the riser section, the transition section. Because these are, and I'll call this riser 1. And then we'll call this riser 2. And then let's add like a little, I have a transitions already, like a little, yeah, just like a little noise right here, like something like this, something nice and 2, and then second, third verse. Now that we're in the second verse, it might be cool. I'll add like another percussion sound, just okay, I'm just quickly coming up with a pattern. I'm not really. Here's another thing that's cool. If you click down on this bottom right hand corner, it opens up all these little numbers and it says MS. Or you can go over here and go to options or view and you can say, where is it at? Where is it at? View. I don't even know where. Oh, track delay right here. Yeah, so track delay, or you can click it right here. So track delay is where you can kind of offset the track to where it's how it's going to come in. So if I push this way, like 10 milliseconds. So now it's going to play at 10 milliseconds behind everything else. So basically the effect is that it lays back the part. So I want the shaker to be a little bit behind the beat. So that's why I'm pushing it back. That's one way to do it. And you can adjust it how you want. Maybe 20 milliseconds. Maybe I'll push the hi-hat back a little bit too. There we go. Shaker's too far back now. Okay, cool. And what I was gonna say before we're done, I want to do another on this second part. I want to do a we're going to do a chorus. We're going to double the second chorus on the way out, and then I'm going to add this section right here, V3. I'm going to add what I call vocal chops, which is just another fun sound. They have them in here under Beat Tools. Vocal. I know you guys have heard all this stuff. Hey, so like, yeah, I'm gonna add something right here. Let's do that. Hey. Yeah, you know, you've heard this stuff, right? You guys have heard music, right? Am I talking to myself? Let me add this little reverb to it. Let's do another one. It's weird. It just like fell right in tune. Usually it's not. Hey, hey, hey. So let's do like the second one. Let's go 3 half steps down, so it's not exactly the same note. So it's like. Also, if you click on this, there's a couple of different there's these different algorithms that for the warp. You have to have it on warp. Keep it on complex when you move when you're moving stuff that's like that has tonal information. Like with drums, you can warp it. You can use beats. It's a little different. But let's just stick with complex. Actually, gonna be cool too. Let's grab that and so it's like. Okay. That's lame. Let me get that out of there. Masha doesn't recognize it. Okay, so then let's do another drum drop right there. I'll mute it all. 1, 2, 3, hey. And then maybe let's do this. Let's also mute the bass right there as well. So now this is the second chorus. So now we're in the last chorus, right? So we gotta get this is when you turn on all the shakers, all the reverbs, all the delays. You know, this is your last. This is the thing on the way out. You gotta make everybody want to jump up and get excited. So let's add another sound here. Let's add a high lead maybe. Let's do this right here. Yeah, something just high like that. 2, 3. Maybe a. Are you going to add any vocals, or is it going to stay that way? How do you decide? Okay, so yeah, this is a good question because this section, I mean, I'm not really going into of course we could add vocals. Maybe we'll do that real quick. Can you guys write some lyrics for me real quick? That was a joke.
Yeah, we had some lyricists in the call earlier this morning. They were talking about it. So
yeah. And then last time, the previous, I don't know, is anybody here from my previous workshops? I feel like Victoria's in this. She was, maybe it's just the same name. We wrote a song together where, where everybody helped me come up with lyrics and I sang it in. We don't have that much time right now to do that today, but this is this is a good start to a song where you can be like, oh yeah, I could hear someone singing to this, or or I can sing to it, or you can give it to your friend. Maybe they'll sing to it. I'm going to freeze that. But I mean, this is just it's a nice little basis for anybody to write a top line to. And that's kind of what I do a lot of is I'll make a beat like this or something, and then and usually it's pretty simple like this, and then I'll make a bunch of them, and then if I want to work with singers, I'll start playing stuff for them, be like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And they're like, something might get them excited about it. They're like, oh, I like this. I want to write to that. And then we go in there and I'll start tweaking stuff. It never just stays. Rarely do I make a beat and then someone just writes over the top of it and it's over. It's like that. In fact, a lot of times it completely changes. But like maybe real quickly, let's do that. Let me add a lead real quick. Just over this section.
It's good too because we had a person asking earlier about adding like live instrumentation over a like pre-rendered MIDI beat like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's. Let me think of something. What, someone say, write something in the chat. Just say something. Let me see here. Oh yes, Victoria. Hey, so cool to see you again. Hope those beats are going well. You always be my home. You'll never leave. Oh, here we go. Someone wrote. Someone wrote something.
Yeah, we got lyricists.
Always be my home. Never leave my side. All right, let's do something. Let's go for it. Let me get my singing chops up here. Let's go let's get serious. I'm gonna add a 10. I'm gonna add something, a nice little preamp here. Okay, let's add the tube tech. Check 1 2. Hey. Yes, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey. What is it? I felt a bit differently, but you do. I felt a bit differently, but you do you. Oh, dang!
These are not the lyrics. These are not the lyrics. I just like I felt them differently, during the song.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
but you do what you're gonna do. That's creative. So yeah.
No, I thought that was lyric because it's like you're talking about somebody. You're saying, you know what, I felt differently, but hey, you go do you. You know, you're you're telling somebody that you felt something different. Let me see your channel 2. Check 1 2. Hey. You'll always be my home. You'll always be my home. You'll never leave my side. I'll never let you go until the rope's too tight. All right. You always be my home. See, and this is good because I can show you I'll just drop it in right now, my master, my buses. I have my vocal chain I was talking about earlier to make me feel better about myself. I'll just drop it in. And let me adjust this a little bit. What key are we in? We're like basically in. You'll never be my. Basically an E flat. So let me just change that real quick. Here we go. You always be my home. You'll never leave my side. I'll never let you go until the rope's too tight. That's pretty dark lyric. I like it though. Be my home. Okay, hold up. Let me grab that. Be my home. Be my home. You know what? Too. While we're here, I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna double them just for fun, just so you can show. This is a great technique. You can double your vocals. Where did the chat go? You always be my home. I need to go back here. You always be my home. You'll never leave my side. You'll never know, it'd be dope. Hold up. Okay, hold up. Where's that chop? I did these. Hey, where are those chops? Oh, right there. Okay, this would actually. These chops now sound better in the chorus to me, right? Let's see. Like this. Woo! This is tight. I'll never let you go. See, maybe I can do some harmony, right? Also, man, I'm getting excited. Hold on. You guys were saying real instruments, right? So, I mean, I am technically playing real instruments because the keyboard is, but let me plug in this guitar. Doesn't need to go there, but like let me add a little guitar part and then you always be my home. You always be my home. You'll never leave my side. Double that because it'll be just, you know, because we're going hard right now. Now I'm going hard. This is what happens. I can't help myself. Once I start doing this, I'm just going to go all the way. All right, I'm going to do the other side now. Oh, maybe I'll do a little different part. You always be my home. So that's like a little vibe. Okay, so another cool thing is inside of the group, I can make another group. I can call that e-guitars. So now this is e-guitar 1, e-guitar 2 here. So yeah, I can mute that, or I can solo those, and I can affect these. So let's do compression because someone mentioned that. Like I said, it's kind of a philosophical question, how to use it, because it takes a long time to even really understand what it does. Basically, what compression in the short and like a layman's term is, you're making the signal as flat as possible. if you have a lot of dynamic range where it's like loud and quiet, you're kind of just trying to like bring it into one. So that's the short answer. The long answer is you can use it to create vibe. You can change the feel of a song. You can change pretty much everything. You can make it all. You can change the tone of a sound by using compression, because yeah, you can mess a song up by using compression if you don't know how to use it right and you start putting compressors on things, the whole thing can fall apart. So I'm just going to use this compressor right now to kind of flatten out these two as one sound. Kind of helps out. Put a little EQ. Some people wonder, do you put it before or after the compressor or the EQ? And I always say yes. It doesn't matter, because just depending on the source and what song it is. Right now, I put the compressor before, so I'm gonna leave it, and I'm gonna carve a little bit out. Something up here I like. Let's put a little slap on it. Okay, let's do this. Create a little space. Hey, who's got quick verses? Someone write some verses real quick. How do you make it sound clean? Do you record it into a mic, and then how do you put it into the program? Yes, so I record into a microphone. It goes into my universal audio. I wonder if I can show you guys. Can you see this? Let me see. I can't see myself now. Oh, okay, yeah. So this is my audio source. This is a Universal Audio X6, and the microphone that I'm using plugs into it, and then that goes into the computer. Yes, via like Thunderbolt or USB-C. So that's how it gets in there. Yeah, I guess it does sound clean, right? Quickly, we need some verses. Somebody write a verse real quick. You know what'd be cool is on that guitar, I'm gonna add this guitar jazz amp. This Native Instruments thing. Cool. Let me freeze and flatten both these guys, because that Native Instruments thing takes up a lot. Is it important to pan the instruments? Extremely important. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you want to create room for everything. So sometimes it's like you don't want everything going right up the middle, because then you're gonna have all these masking frequencies. So generally, you want the vocal to be right in the middle, and then your instruments kind of to the sides. That's definitely the easiest way just to think of it. Vocal in the middle, usually bass, vocal, kick, snare, right in the middle, everything else to the sides. But there's also ways you go front and back, like I was saying earlier with this true verb thing. I can't remember what sound I put it on. Did I put it on the flute or something? I did, this flute. Yeah, see, I pushed that to the back using this plugin. If I turn it off, it seems closer to us. If I turn it on, it kind of sounds in the back now, right? So that's another way. You think panning is like up and down, or music is volume up and down, left and right, and then front to back. That's how you want to make your music's got to be 3D. You want to hear it like it's a big, sphere, like a world. Quickly though, let me get these verses real quick because
I wrote them down.
I love it. And I got them. I'm gonna use them. I appreciate that because. All right, I'm just gonna riff though, so no one give me any crap. This is me riffing. All right. Life can be so good when you're both in love. Until the one is gone, the other one survives, yeah. You always be my home. Let's do the second verse. Never dream of that. And then the line is crossed. Oh, we could try to save what's left for what it's worth. All right, cool. So we got a song. We actually wrote a song in here today. To some extent. Let me throw some stuff on the master bus just to make it sound a little better. Lately I've been using... Actually, you know what? I got this really incredible plugin. All right. Ooh, life can be so good when you're both in love. Until the one is gone, ooh, the other one survives, yeah, yeah. You always be my home. You never leave my side. I'll never let you go until the rope's too tight. Never dream of that. And then the line is crossed. Oh, we could try to save what's left for what it's worth. You always be my home. You never leave my side. I'll never let you go until the rope's too tight. Nice. Any questions how to do that? I wasn't expecting to like actually do a song in front of everybody today, but thank you. This will be all recorded actually real quickly too. Let me give you guys the template, my template. Put it in there. You know, you can always go back and watch that. And you know, I know I went really fast, but if you watch it back, you can probably stop it and slow it down and see what I did. But you know, everything I did today was like an accumulation of like many years and practice and just trial and error, and it literally is just the way I do things. So I always tell people, oh wait, I can't do that. It won't let me send it to you guys. Wait, can I do an attachment though, maybe? So, you know, it's just practice, take your time, and, you know, it's really just all about, yeah, it doesn't let you, oh wait, here we go. It doesn't let you, you can't like force the process of music ever. It's a lifelong endeavor, and you're going to constantly be changing it. Like whatever I just showed you today, I'm sure next week I'm going to have a whole nother way I'm going to do it. And that's why I don't like absolutes. I don't like to say, oh, you should always do it this way, or you should always do it that way, because it's always changing, and music's subjective. It's not objective. So you gotta just always trust your instinct and your gut, and just have fun with it. Really, at the end of the day, just try to have fun. That's why I kept saying, oh, let's put this fun sound in, because to me it's all about having fun. It shouldn't be serious, because it's just music.